remember that story in 1 Samuel where the children of Israel were afraid to face the giant? Well, listen. There was this Philistine giant of a man who stood 9 to 10 foot tall. This man packed a spear that weighed over 25 pounds. I bet that big old boy was ugly. But I digress. So the Philistine army and the army of Israel would meet down in this valley and they would have a battle. Big old boy decided he was going to start coming out before the army of God every day and he would challenge them. He'd make fun of them and say terrible things to them and then he would say, "Send me a man to fight. If he wins, then we'll be your servants. But if I win, then you'll be our servants and serve us." I'll tell you, all of Israel was scared out of their wits. Now, we are talking about a people whose ancestors were single-handedly rescued by God himself from Egyptian slavery, crossed over the Red Sea on dry land, were fed and clothed. I'm talking about their sandals didn't even wear out for 40 years. Once they finally decided to trust God, from a place to live that was flowing with milk and honey. I'm talking about grape clusters as big as your head. We might look at that and think by now they should understand that God's got this. But you know what? They weren't thinking about God. They were thinking about that giant standing in front of them. The Bible says that a ruddy shepherd boy named David went down to the army to take his brother something to eat. And while he was down there, he heard that giant come out and challenge God's people. Well, come to find out, this been going on for 40 days. Now, when little David heard it, he said, who does this Philistine think he is? He can't just come down here and talk to God's people like that. He ends up going down to the brook and choosing 5 smooth stones. I kid you not, this boy walks into a battle with a giant holding a stick, 5 stones, a shepherd's bag, and a sling. This giant, when he saw David, he busted out laughing. He could not believe that they done sent this little boy in there holding a stick. The Bible says that David took off running toward this giant, slingshot out and sailed one of them stones, slapped that giant right in the forehead with it. Boom, great was the fall. David ran over there and jumped on top of that giant. He snatched the giant's sword right out of his sheath, cut his head plumb off with it. Lord have mercy, can you imagine? Child has accomplished what every man was afraid to do. His faith was in God, but he had to step out on that faith and take action to make it all happen. His courage and confidence came from the fact that he knew that God would see him through it. Lord, please help my unbelief. So many times I have limited you because I've allowed self to get in your way. Thank you for providing a way even when it seems impossible. May you fill your people with faith like David, that we might take action and run toward our giants, trusting that you will fight the battle for us. In Jesus' precious and holy name I pray. Amen.